Hey y'all, Billy Thomas here. I'm the Chief Data Officer here at ALLJOY Data, and I am excited to share with you a consultant profile highlight of somebody that I've been working with now, and am really excited for you to get to know. I want to introduce you to Michael Siconolfi. Hello, Michael, and welcome.
Hi, Bill. It's so nice to speak to you. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's good to speak to you too, and I'm glad that we're working together. Can we just start off and have let's have you tell our listeners just a little bit about who you are. So, where do you live? Tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay. I live way down south in Africa, in South Africa. So I have, yeah, I was basically born here. I'm born and raised, but I have spent some time outside of South Africa. It's a lovely country. Um, it's an interesting country. The people are amazing. Some of the hardest workers that I know come from this country, and the town that I live in is the third oldest town, and it's a town called Parel. So that's the Dutch word. That's the Dutch word for pearl. And it's a lovely, picturesque town. I have two kids. My wife passed away, unfortunately, three months ago. So you know that is, so it's been a tough time, but yeah, we're doing okay. And I'm very thankful that I've got my work to keep me going. Meet amazing people like you, for example, Bill. And yeah, so it's been a time of great ups and great downs, as you can imagine. But yeah, so that's that's where I'm from, and that's where I am now.
Okay, okay. Well, certainly, not only can I imagine, I guess, the ups and downs, but I feel privileged to be part of your journey, both personally and professionally. And so I am honored to know you. I'm honored to be sharing this part of your life with you, and excited about working with you for many years to come.
Thank you very much. I'm also very excited, and I was actually thinking, that it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to, meet like-minded people like yourself, and and the work that we do is also fantastic. Yes, it can be hard slog sometimes, but I think it's the greatest job out there.
Yeah, I feel super blessed and privileged to have the job that I have. For sure. Yeah, my kids actually make fun of me. They're like, "Dad's working," right? I don't know if you get any of that, but they see me in my computer and my coffee, and of course I'm dressed all nice. But I work remote as well as you, almost all the time, almost full time now. And we're gonna talk about it in just a little bit, but I do get made fun of because I get to work. I live in Hilton Head, and so it's like the endless vacation, so to speak. But we do work hard. We have fun while we're working. We enjoy what we do. And I guess that kind of brings me to the next topic, because as a remote consultant, I guess I have a couple of questions. How do you deal with, so you're over in South Africa, you're several time zones at least off of me, and I know you're working right now with North American customers, but how do you stay disciplined working remotely, and how do you deal with the time zone delta that we have?
I actually have dealt with various time zones, and I find that working US, especially EST, is actually the best. Sorry, can I just ask? People have just stormed into the house, and I'm just going to ask them to be a bit quiet, or maybe I'm just going to pick,
Absolutely,
or
absolutely.
or or should I just pick up and go?
I think you
I
should
should
just
just
go because
I should go.
you know
I'll
what?
I'll I'll go.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's actually not a bad thing at all,
It's
because we're actually talking about this very subject, right? Working remote and how
yes.
you deal with it, right? And so whether we edit this out or keep it in, I actually think
Okay.
it's fun, because we do have to have that special place.
Absolutely. And this is one, yeah, this is one way of showing what happens. Excuse me, I'm just to the office space.
Absolutely,
Um,
you're
I'm
fine.
I'm actually gonna sit not in the office itself. I'll just close the door.
You're
Sorry.
good. No, you're good.
And and then I shall be here. The cat joining me over there,
Love it.
but
I love it. I
I will,
love
I'll sit right here. And yeah, so your question about time zone. So I think that the the easiest time zone for me is actually sorry, I'm moving again. The Eastern Standard Time Zone of the US. I get to have my mornings to myself. I get
it.
to do all of the things that I have to do, the chores, and then towards the evening, or shall I say, more towards the afternoon, I can fall in. Okay,
Sure.
and
Looking good.
sorry,
Looking sharp.
thank you. And I actually enjoy EST, if I can call it that, um, because I have this time to myself, and um, yeah, and you know, I see it as a normal job. It's there's a time to start, and there's going to be meetings and so on. So I think that helps it to be, you know, uh, normal. I guess.
Okay.
And I
Sure.
think I've worked it for so long now that it's just become, you know, ingrained in me.
The thing that I like is the different time zones. They can have pros and cons, right? Sometimes you have to wake up real early. Sometimes you have to stay up really late. But also, depending on the team you're working with, there can be almost like this follow the sun type of work schedule, right? So there can be folks that
Mm,
are working in the US, folks that are working in Europe, folks that are working in Asia, and the work can just keep going. Or we can modify it to being
mm.
east, basically working Eastern time, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that what I was trying to say earlier, that I'm not a morning person. So I have worked APAC time zones, and that meant I had to get up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm an evening person, and I will many evenings I will go to bed late because I feel like I'm alive. And but yeah, so I that's why I'm saying I definitely prefer working US, especially EST times, instead of, for example, APAC times. That's just it. It just, for me as a person, it just works much better. Trust
Sure.
me.
Sure. Yeah, that is that can be very tough. All right. Well, so we are all joy data. And one of the things we like, kind of a tagline that we have is, we like working with data, and actually working with data makes us smile, right? Why do we call it all joy? Because working with data makes us smile, right? We actually like and enjoy working with data. Can you give us just a little bit of why you like working with data?
One of the reasons I like it is because nobody else likes it. That's one thing.
It's a
And
little bit of a niche, isn't it?
yes, when somebody asks me to explain to them what I do, I can see the vacant, you know, the screensaver go on, and I can just see, no, I've just lost them now.
Absolutely.
But part of that for me is I like to do the things that nobody else likes to do. So, I also enjoy the structure of it. I also enjoy finding things in the data. Um,
Okay.
um, Discovering things in it. Like I think I was speaking to you or to somebody else a couple of days ago, that you can actually, just from the information that
Mhm.
you find, you can figure out what kind of company am I dealing with? What are the people like? Is it, is this going to be a hard journey? Is it going to be a long journey? Or, it looks good. So I think those patterns, that information that you draw from it, it just makes me come alive, and I know I'm going to find some nuggets in there. And that's why I just love it. And I love to attack a problem from every angle. And that's how you have to be, um, when you're working with what we're actually working with. So yeah,
Sure,
I
sure.
think
Yeah,
my personality as a problem finder, as a find the answer, as a puzzle solver, it works
right.
perfectly for me.
Gotcha, gotcha. I know one of the greatest things I like about working with data is that it's hard, and because it's hard, there are folks that need our help, and I actually
Mm,
enjoy helping people. And so that whole
yeah.
idea of helping somebody with a problem that, that energizes me, and and I think that's one of the reasons I've stuck around data for so long. I mean, I do make a good living, but I also get a
Mhm.
lot of fulfillment out of helping others with their data.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I couldn't have said it better. That is exactly, part of the reason why I'm also in it. And I think one more reason is that, these days we have um the new things coming out, like the data scientists and those kind of things. But at the end of the day, if they have a flawed object that they're working with, then whatever all of the fancy bells and whistles is not going to work.
Right.
We are the guys who, I sometimes call us the plumbers of the IT world,
Sure,
because
sure,
we work with the lifeblood of things that flow. We if we do our job right, then big companies can do amazing things, and
for
that's
sure.
why that I love that.
For sure. Why don't you give us a few highlights from some of your past projects, some of your, either favorite or hardest or most fulfilling that you've been experienced.
Well, I'd say my first project, and I think many people are like that. Their first project was probably the hardest. I had started with SAP about 12 or 13 years ago. Before that, I was in Microsoft for many years, Microsoft BI.
Okay.
And my first project, I got a job on my Microsoft knowledge. I didn't know SAP, I didn't know data services, didn't know data quality. And my boss at that stage, he said, Michael, we have a project for you. You have to go to Canada and you have to install the software on the hardware, and then you have to train them. And I'm
Oh,
thinking to
wow.
myself, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I said, okay, well, okay, it's fine. I'm sure I'll be ready in a month or two. He said, no, no, in 2 weeks, you have to
Oh,
be there.
God.
So
Oh,
that was
wow.
probably, that was like being thrown into very rough waters with sharks and octopuses in that water. And I
Oh,
pulled it off. I still do not know. It was minus 34 in Saskatoon, because
okay.
that was the time, and it was for a big mining company, Canadian mining company called Cameco,
Okay.
who do I think they do nuclear or plutonium or something like that many years
Okay.
ago. Since
Wow.
then, I've had some tough projects, and I think a lot of the time it's not so much the project that's tough as the people that are really tough. And being on board, being together as a team. One of my best projects was for H&M. I don't know if you know
Oh,
the
yeah.
large Swedish clothing company. I had a
Sure.
great
Oh,
time
sure.
there. I did a wonderful project for them. I basically went on board to train somebody for a couple of weeks, and I stayed for nearly 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Um, I moved there. They asked me to please move there, and I moved there ahead of the time, and then afterwards I took my family there. And it was awesome. I loved the people. I actually loved the cold up to a point, and then I started to realize
Wow.
that was okay. This is a bit much now.
You got over
Um,
that?
yeah, and I think that the the main thing about working on that project was just the way that they approach it, the systematic, methodical. They don't get upset. They don't get difficult. They
Right.
don't shout. It was just wonderful. You have enough time. They respect your life. They respect your work-life balance. It was brilliant.
That is
Um,
great.
Another one of my toughest another tough one was also a a um a Canadian project for the city of Edmonton.
Okay.
And the reason why that was a tough one was it because it was US times, but it was West Coast. Edmonton is towards the West Coast, so that was very hard. And
Okay.
the people were difficult. I think y- somebody had done the job, had started with the work, and they left. I don't know why they left, but they left.
Well,
And I had to sort of pick up everything within a day or two.
oh,
Um,
boy.
and I find myself a lot of the times in situations like these where the
Yeah.
person is gone. I have to take over.
Okay.
We had a situation for a company called Firmenich. Firmenich is a French company that they manufacture chemicals and so on, where they had an IBM team of about 7 or 8 people, and for some reason there was a bust up higher up. The higher ups didn't get on, and they just said goodbye IBM, and they got me as the lead. I had three
Okay.
guys
Okay.
working with me, and we absolutely we had to save this thing because we were in, yeah, we were in, I think, Mark 2 or something like that. It was absolute nuts. And then they said, come to France, Michael. Okay. And I went to
All right.
France.
Yeah.
I
We've seen what you
sat,
can do. Let's go.
yes, let's see what you can do. So I was there, and that was actually in the Rugby World Cup last
Oh,
year. And it was,
okay.
yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of stress. Um, I always used to say, I'm not a person who can handle stress and pressure. I just fall over. But that's not true, because that was serious stress to save
Right.
this migration project. It was because at that stage I was the lead, migration lead, and I had a few guys to lead, and it was hectic. Um,
Wow. Wow.
let me think.
Oh, yeah, no, it's very good. Well, you've mentioned a couple things, and sort of to wrap, I think one last subject I want to that you and I were talking about just a week or so ago. You've been involved as I have with a lot of migration and data quality projects, and really there's you can't really have migration without data quality. So data quality kind of is an umbrella over all of it. But in that, we were talking about a specific topic called transparency and how important that is. And I'd just like you to talk a little bit about what we were talking about, why it's so important, and how you see transparency playing a role with like the leadership team and so on.
I think that what I found is that most of the leaderships of these projects and companies in general, they don't understand what it's about. They don't understand what it can do. They don't, they just want it to go away.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that being transparent helps them to come on board. Okay. Helps them to understand where in the process, what's the process going to be, what is it going to do for the company, and why we need to do it. And,
Right.
I, I like to have the leadership understanding what is happening.
Sure.
I
Sure.
like to have them on board with us as we go along, and we clean the information, and we, get the migration done. So I think that um, um, it gives them a sense of comfort. It gives them a sense of understanding, and that is important, because if we are going to bring this, bring the project home, we definitely need that. We need their support. We need their
Sure.
understanding, and
Right.
that's why. Why
Yeah.
why would you say, Bull? Why would you say it's important?
Well, I think it's important because as a leader, and I've been involved in some very, very large projects, and I've been on even the project management office and steering committees. That as a leader, you want to empower your people. If you don't understand the problems, you don't understand the issues that they're facing, you can't help them, right? And I think sometimes resources on these projects, they're so big, and there's so much visibility to the project that they sort of seize up, or they want to keep problems hidden, or we used to have a
Mm.
term, it's called timeline chicken, right?
Oh yeah,
You hope leadership finds out about somebody else's problem before they do yours, so that they get all the attention and you
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Right.
So
But
just on that, it is, for me, it's a matter of I have to be transparent, even though I might get there might be some unhappiness, some issues.
okay.
Um, I never would. I cannot live with myself hiding something like that. In fact, I'm usually the guy to say, okay, guys, we have a problem. And I've been I've been in the situation where other leaderships or other people have been very unhappy with me, because I say, we have a
Yeah.
problem here. How are
Sure.
we going to solve this?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, one of the scariest and probably one of the biggest growth times in my consulting career was when I had to tell a very high leader that the data was not going to be ready for go live. They had pushed design, which pushed our team to a place where we could not recover before the go live. And to have to say, he literally said, "Hey, are we going to make go live?" And I was like, "No, we're not going to make it." And of course, that set off a huge turn of events that ended up being a tough time for the project, but it was absolutely the right call.
Mm.
And I will tell you this: that project has the absolute reputation of being the gold standard in that company for how to go live with business ready data. That would have been a very different story had we not been transparent with the leadership team and just been like, okay, turn it.
Yeah,
Let's
no, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Don't worry about it, guys.
yeah,
I know. It's
right.
amazing. It's amazing. I was just actually reminded of um the kind of situation where exactly that happened, and it was um we were actually able to save because we showed them that there's a problem. We were actually
Right.
able to save the project instead of going right to the end, and then it was just, you know,
Yeah.
sorry, we
Yeah.
can't do it. And I actually think because of that situation, I will never, ever, ever even contemplate to to hide anything. But just let's just face the music, rip the band-aid off, and that's it.
Good for you. Love that. I love that. Well, Michael, I want to thank you for joining me on today's consulting highlight profile. And it is a pleasure speaking with you. It's a pleasure working with you. And we're looking for great things to come. We believe that the best is yet to come, and looking forward to continuing to work together for a long time.
Thank you very much, Bill. It's been awesome.
All right.
Appreciate it.
God bless and take care.
You too.